It was 2:47 a.m. when he woke up shouting. His right calf felt like it had turned into iron. His toes curled involuntarily. The pain shot up his leg like a bolt of electricity. For Mr. Richard, 75, this wasn't the first time, but it was the worst yet. He sat up, breathing hard, clutching his thigh, waiting for the cramp to release. It didn't. These night cramps had become a cruel pattern, robbing him of rest, mobility, and lately, even peace of mind. He stopped walking down to the market, avoided trips with old friends. He once loved tinkering in his backyard workshop, but even that began to feel like a risk. Doctors ran tests. His heart was fine, blood pressure stable. Just part of aging, they said, but something inside him whispered, this isn't normal. Then, during a quiet conversation, his son mentioned something he'd read. Dad, have you tried magnesium? Mr. Richard hadn't. He didn't even know why that would matter. But 3 weeks later, the cramps were gone. This isn't hype. It's what happens when the body finally gets what it's missing. And if you've experienced something like Mr. Richard, or are still in the thick of it, share your story in the comments. You never know who you might help. Mr. Richard didn't talk about the pain much. Like many men of his generation, he grew up believing you grit your teeth and carry on. But in truth, the cramps were changing his life. Each time they struck, they left behind a dull ache that made walking feel unsafe. He stopped using the stairs unless absolutely necessary. His balance became shaky, not from weakness, but from fear. His nightly routine turned into a series of anxious rituals: stretching, drinking water, adjusting pillows, walking a few steps before bed. But still, some nights they came. He wasn't alone. Recent studies estimate that over 50% of adults over 60 experience regular nocturnal leg cramps. These aren't minor twitches, they're intense muscle spasms, often striking without warning, usually in the calves or feet, and lasting for seconds to several agonizing minutes. And for many, they seem to come out of nowhere. But they don't. The hidden triggers in aging bodies. As we age, our bodies change in silent, subtle ways. Muscle fibers lose elasticity. Nerve sensitivity decreases. Circulation weakens. And, crucially, mineral absorption drops. That last one, that's the key. You see, minerals like magnesium, potassium, and calcium are essential to how our muscles contract and relax. Without enough magnesium in particular, your muscles can misfire, tensing uncontrollably and refusing to release. Magnesium acts like a natural calm switch for muscles and nerves. It regulates signals between your brain and your body, keeps blood vessels relaxed, and supports energy production in every cell. In younger bodies, magnesium gets absorbed efficiently through food. But for older adults, the ability to absorb and retain magnesium diminishes, especially if they take certain medications like diuretics for blood pressure, proton pump inhibitors, PPIs, for acid reflux, metformin for diabetes. Mr. Richard was on 2 of those. He had no idea they were quietly draining his magnesium stores. The food trap most seniors fall into. Mr. Richard ate well, or so he thought. Breakfast was toast and eggs. Lunch might be a sandwich, a banana, maybe soup. Dinner often included meat, some veggies, and rice. But when his son looked closer, he noticed something strange. There were barely any magnesium-rich foods in his dad's diet. Magnesium hides in places many seniors overlook: pumpkin seeds, almonds, and cashews. Leafy greens like spinach and chard. Black beans, lentils, and chickpeas. Whole grains like brown rice and quinoa. But for seniors dealing with dentures, indigestion, or reduced appetite, these foods aren't always practical. They're harder to chew, digest, or prepare, and so they get replaced with softer, simpler meals that fill the stomach but leave the body short on nutrients. That's how a slow deficiency begins, invisible, symptomless at first, until the cramps come. The first time Mr. Richard took magnesium, it was his son who bought the supplement. 200 milligrams of magnesium glycinate, a gentle form that's easy on the stomach and doesn't cause digestive issues like some other types. Just take it after dinner, his son said. Mr. Richard was skeptical, but he agreed. Nothing happened the first night, or the second, but by the 5th day, something felt different. The usual tightness in his calves before bed? Gone. He slept straight through for the first time in weeks. By week 2, he stopped waking up in fear. By week 3, the cramps had vanished altogether. How magnesium actually works inside the body. Let's slow down and explain it clearly, because the science here is simple and empowering. Your muscles need calcium to contract and magnesium to relax. It's like an on-off switch. If calcium is the gas pedal, magnesium is the brake. When your body runs low on magnesium, muscles become overstimulated. Nerves fire excessively. Spasms and cramps occur more frequently. And the older you get, the harder it becomes to store enough magnesium in muscle tissue, unless you're consciously replacing it through diet or supplements. Here's what magnesium does behind the scenes. Relaxes muscle fibers, regulates heartbeat and blood flow, reduces inflammation, improves quality of sleep, supports nerve communication. It's not a miracle, it's maintenance. Just like oiling the hinges on a door, magnesium keeps the body's systems moving smoothly. But is it safe for everyone? This is important. Magnesium is generally safe, but not everyone should supplement without care. If you have kidney disease, talk to your doctor first. If you're on medications for heart rhythm or antibiotics, check for interactions. Start with a low dose, around 200 to 250 milligrams daily, ideally as magnesium glycinate or citrate. Mr. Richard's story isn't about doing something dramatic. It's about trying something simple with intention. And maybe, just maybe, it's worth asking. What if your leg cramps aren't just a part of aging? What if they're a message that your body is missing something? Before we go deeper, take a second to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. We're building a place where seniors and the people who care for them can find simple, trustworthy ways to stay strong, sleep better, and move with confidence. If this video is helping you so far, give it a thumbs up and let us know in the comments what your biggest challenge has been, whether it's leg cramps, restless nights, or just feeling off balance lately. And don't forget to watch until the end, because coming up, we'll walk you through how to safely start magnesium, how to choose the right kind, and what changes to expect week by week. Now let's keep going, because as Mr. Richard discovered, sometimes what feels small can change everything. By the 4th week, Mr. Richard noticed something unexpected. He wasn't just free from cramps. He felt lighter. Not physically, but mentally. The fog that used to cloud his thoughts in the morning had started to lift. He moved through his daily routines with a little more ease, a little more energy. He'd started sleeping straight through the night. And for the first time in a long while, he woke up feeling rested. Not just not tired, but truly rested. His son noticed it too. "You seem sharper lately, Dad," he said one morning. Mr. Richard just smiled. What began as a fix for muscle cramps turned out to be something more, a gentle restoration of balance throughout his entire system. And there's a reason why. Magnesium and the aging brain, restoring calm from within. Most people don't realize this. Nearly 60% of the magnesium in your body is stored in your bones, but a crucial portion of the rest is active in the brain, where it regulates neurotransmitters and supports neural communication. In older adults, magnesium can influence cognitive clarity, short-term memory, mood regulation, stress response. Low magnesium levels are linked to increased anxiety, irritability, even mild confusion in seniors. Why? Because magnesium helps regulate GABA, a neurotransmitter responsible for calming the nervous system. When Mr. Richard started taking magnesium, his sleep improved first, but what followed was equally important: mental clarity. He was able to focus more while reading. He stopped forgetting small things. And emotionally, he felt steadier, like the background noise in his head had turned down a notch. Magnesium doesn't solve everything, but in an aging brain, it provides a kind of biochemical cushion, a stabilizer that can reduce mental fatigue and emotional tension. Mr. Richard didn't start with a complicated plan. There was no overhaul, no medical drama, no long list of supplements. Just one small bottle, magnesium glycinate, 200 milligrams, and a commitment to give it a few weeks. What happened next was life-changing, and it can be for you too. But not all magnesium is the same. Not all bodies respond the same way, and there are a few important things to know before you begin. So in this section, we'll walk you through everything, step by step, so you can build a safe, effective, and lasting magnesium routine that actually fits your life. Choosing the right form. Not all magnesium is equal. If you've ever looked at the supplement aisle, magnesium comes in many forms. And while they might sound similar, each type acts differently in the body, especially for seniors. Here are the 4 most common forms you'll see, and which ones work best. Magnesium glycinate. Best for muscle cramps, sleep, anxiety, balance. Why it works. Highly absorbable and very gentle on the stomach. Mr. Richard's choice. Yes, this was his go-to. Bonus. The glycine part also helps with calming the nervous system. Magnesium citrate. Best for occasional constipation plus cramping relief. Why it works. Well absorbed, but can have a mild laxative effect. Use with caution if you have loose stools or IBS. Magnesium oxide. Common but cheap and poorly absorbed. Often found in bargain supplements, but less effective for cramp relief. Magnesium sulfate, Epsom salts. Best used externally, not orally. Great for soaking feet or legs to relax muscles and improve circulation. Bottom line, if you're a senior just starting out, magnesium glycinate is your safest, most effective choice. How much should you take? Finding your safe dose. For seniors, more is not always better. Your body needs enough magnesium to restore balance, but not so much that it causes discomfort. Here's a safe starting range. Women over 60, 250 to 300 milligrams daily. Men over 60, 300 to 350 milligrams daily. Start low, especially if you've never taken magnesium before. You're on medications for blood pressure, heart, or kidneys. You have sensitive digestion. Most people start with 100 to 200 milligrams per day and slowly increase over 1 to 2 weeks if needed. Mr. Richard began with 200 milligrams after dinner. He waited to see how his body responded. No digestive upset, no discomfort, and within days, he felt the shift. Best time to take magnesium. Timing matters, especially for older adults who may be dealing with poor sleep, muscle tension, or nighttime cramping. The best time to take magnesium for leg cramps and sleep? In the evening, after dinner. Here's why. You've already eaten, so absorption improves. It begins relaxing your nervous system ahead of bedtime. It reduces late-night cortisol, stress hormone. It prepares your muscles for a calm, cramp-free night. Mr. Richard took his with a glass of water around 7 p.m., shortly before watching the evening news. That small habit became his quiet signal that it was time to wind down. Combine magnesium with the right foods. Magnesium works better when it's supported by other nutrients. And fortunately, many foods that help are gentle on the digestive system and easy to prepare. Here are senior-friendly magnesium boosters to include. Cooked spinach or kale, soft, easy to chew. Oatmeal with pumpkin seeds. Bananas potassium plus magnesium combo. Boiled lentils or black beans, pureed if needed. Dark chocolate, in moderation, 70% cocoa or more. Pro tip: avoid high-calcium meals at the same time as magnesium supplements. They compete for absorption. So, if you drink milk or take calcium, try spacing it 2 to 3 hours apart. Helpful routines: pairing magnesium with gentle movement. Magnesium does its best work when your body is moving gently and regularly. You don't need a gym. You don't need to sweat. Just 5 to 10 minutes of leg circulation a day makes a difference. Here's a basic magnesium-friendly daily routine. Morning: light ankle rolls while sitting. A short walk around the home or garden. Afternoon: warm water foot soak with Epsom salts, magnesium sulfate. Optional leg massage. Boosts blood flow, reduces stiffness. Evening, after dinner. Take magnesium glycinate with water. Do 5 minutes of seated leg stretches before bed. Over time, this rhythm supports the body's natural healing processes and keeps magnesium moving where it's needed, into the muscles, into the nerves, and into the cells. Watch for these common mistakes. Even simple routines can go wrong if you're not careful. Here's what to avoid. Taking magnesium on an empty stomach. Can cause nausea or diarrhea. Always take with food unless your doctor advises otherwise. Mixing too many supplements at once. Start magnesium first. Give it 2 to 3 weeks, then reassess. Avoid multi-formulas that mix calcium, zinc, or iron unless prescribed. Skipping doses after symptoms improve. Magnesium isn't a quick fix, it's a maintenance tool. Keep your routine even when you feel better. Want to talk to your doctor. If you have chronic kidney disease, serious heart conditions, or are on multiple medications, always consult your doctor before starting magnesium. Bring a simple question. Would a small magnesium supplement be safe for me to try? Most doctors will support a low dose if there's no conflict. Some may even recommend a blood test to check levels, though magnesium blood levels aren't always accurate, as most of it lives in tissues, not blood. Magnesium and deep sleep. Why seniors need more both. Sleep quality declines as we age. It's one of the most common complaints among older adults. I wake up every few hours. My sleep feels shallow. I'm always tired, no matter how long I'm in bed. But poor sleep isn't just an annoyance, it's a health risk. Chronic sleep deprivation has been linked to weaker immune function, higher inflammation, and even increased risk of dementia. Here's where magnesium helps again. Magnesium supports the natural production of melatonin, the hormone that regulates your sleep-wake cycle. It also helps maintain a relaxed state by reducing cortisol levels, the body's main stress hormone. In Mr. Richard's case, his nightly magnesium became a simple ritual. One small capsule with dinner, followed by a warm glass of water and his favorite chair. Within 2 weeks, he stopped waking up in the middle of the night. By week 3, he began waking up without an alarm clock, something he hadn't done in years. He felt more alive, not from doing more, but from finally resting deeply. Magnesium and balance. Preventing falls before they happen. This might surprise you. Magnesium plays a direct role in preventing falls in older adults, not just by reducing cramps, but by improving muscle coordination and balance. A study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that seniors with low magnesium levels were significantly more likely to fall, even when other factors like vision and medication were accounted for. Why? Because magnesium supports nerve conduction, helping muscles respond quickly to changes in position. Helps maintain inner ear function, which regulates spatial orientation. Reduces muscle tightness, allowing smoother, more stable movement. Mr. Richard, like many seniors, had adapted to instability by slowing down. But after supplementing with magnesium, his movements became more fluid. He no longer gripped the hallway walls at night. He stepped into the shower with confidence again, a small moment that felt like a major victory. Magnesium and the heart, a gentle protector. Most people think of magnesium in terms of muscles and nerves, but the heart, that's a muscle too, and a sensitive one. Low magnesium levels have been linked to irregular heartbeat, arrhythmia, high blood pressure, increased inflammation in arterial walls. For older adults with heart conditions, especially those on blood pressure meds or diuretics, magnesium becomes a key nutrient. It helps relax blood vessels, reducing hypertension, regulate electrical signals, preventing arrhythmias, support calcium balance, preventing arterial calcification. Mr. Richard's cardiologist hadn't suggested magnesium at first, but after reviewing his supplement routine and seeing mild improvements in blood pressure, he gave the thumbs up. Keep doing what you're doing, the doctor said. Sometimes the body just needs a little support. Magnesium and longevity. The bigger picture. The deeper we go, the more one thing becomes clear. Magnesium isn't just about leg cramps. It's about total system resilience. In seniors, where small imbalances have large consequences, one fall, one bad night's sleep, one missed signal in the brain, magnesium offers a kind of buffer. It restores the body's ability to self-regulate. Better sleep leads to better immunity. Reduced cramping leads to better mobility. Improved mood leads to more social interaction. Balanced heart rhythm leads to less fatigue. Mr. Richard didn't change his whole lifestyle. He didn't overhaul his diet, join a gym, or go on medication. All he did was replace what his body was quietly missing. And that one shift, Magnesium, set off a chain reaction. He doesn't fear the night anymore. Mr. Richard, now 76, sleeps through most nights without interruption. The cramping is gone. But it's not just about that. What changed for him wasn't just physical. It was emotional, psychological, foundational. Before Magnesium, his nights were filled with anxiety. Would his legs seize again? Would he wake up shouting? Would his wife, who had always looked to him for strength, see him as fragile? But now, after just one small change, he feels safe in his own body again. That's the quiet gift of healing. Not the absence of pain, but the return of trust. Trust in your body. Trust in rest. Trust in yourself. And maybe that's what this video is really about. Not a supplement, not a fix, but a reminder that aging doesn't mean suffering. That small, intentional steps, taken with care and patience, can change the texture of everyday life. Mr. Richard didn't get younger. He didn't become someone else. He just got a little more of himself back. And if you've been living with cramps, discomfort, or poor sleep, you can take that first step too. You deserve nights without fear, mornings without pain, days that feel like yours again. So tonight, take a moment. Stretch, breathe, sit with a warm cup of water, and maybe, just maybe, let Magnesium become part of your story too. You're not alone in this. Others are on the same road, and your journey matters more than you know. What if healing doesn't begin with a cure, but with a question? What am I missing? What could help? Gently, quietly, that I haven't tried? For Mr. Richard, the answer was Magnesium. For someone else, it might be a stretch before bed, a conversation with a loved one, or simply the decision to believe that things can get better, even after 60, 70, 80. This isn't about chasing youth. It's about reclaiming comfort, reclaiming calm, reclaiming moments of ease that make each day more livable. So as you close this video, ask yourself, what small thing might change the way I move through tomorrow? And if you found a little clarity here, don't let it stop with you. Share this with someone who's struggling, someone who keeps quiet about the cramps, the sleepless nights, the stiffness they've come to accept as normal. Let's stop accepting discomfort as a side effect of aging. You have more life to live, and it should be lived well, one step at a time.